What's going on YouTube? One LEX Ram here. Coming at you today to go over my vehicles, my bikes, and even my car. You may see my face in this. It's not like I'm trying to conceal the thing, so it's all good. But yeah, we'll get on with it and show you the bad boys and go over them a little bit in detail. I don't have a ton of stuff done to either of these because I like them a lot as is. So without further ado, keep going. So start off with my beautiful Ducati Panigale 1199s. This bad boy is by far one of the most fun bikes and fast bikes I've ever been on. I always ride around now in freaking race mode. Now it's all broken in. Throttle response and everything is just amazing. Sport mode is what I had to break it in with. So the engine braking is harsher, the ABS is on front and rear. Yeah, it's all fun. I've never driven on wet yet. So I have no idea how to describe that one. Man, as far as the ride of this thing, it's crazy raw. Like the feel of it, the way it accelerates, the way it brakes, everything is intense. There's nothing subtle about it. Now that I've actually changed the suspension dampening and the rebound on it, it's actually made it a lot more easy to ride. Like, let's see, let's go through this. See right there is compression, rebound, rear compression, rear rebound. These were all at 10 and 5, and I put the 16 and 20, so it changed a lot. The higher the number, obviously, the softer it goes. I didn't want it to be super soft. I wanted there to still be some stiffness in the suspension, and it's definitely there, and it is, God, it's made it so much better to ride. See the beautiful LED lights. Those things are insanely bright. Insanely bright. They will definitely light up with the high beams the entire road. No doubt about it. All right, let's get out of here. You see, you got the electronic rear suspension control right here. Boop. Pretty sick. Those of you that have this bike, I don't know if you've ever noticed it, but this particular bolt right here actually loosened on me, I think like 200 miles into it, and it was making this linkage hit the swing arm. So I was like, oh, that's not good, but this simple tightening, and it's no biggie, easy fix. So, the time you guys are waiting for, I'm sure, is the start. It's definitely loud. So yeah, that is how loud this beast is. I love the sound of this thing. It just sounds like pure raw sex. The thing's just mean. It just sounds mean as how it growls at you. And that's the best part about this thing. So, this bike, by far, the fastest, most fun thing I've ever been on. The S1000R was a great bike. I just like this one way better. Also, the only upgrade I've done to it so far is this seat right here. This seat is the comfort seat, which initially took a little bit to get used to because this hump right here pushes you in a weird position forward, so you actually have more weight on your wrist, which kind of sucked, but once it broke in a little bit, you sink down, thing's golden. It's so nice. All right, so we're going to move on to the next vehicle. This is my 08 1199s-cbr600rr, which Cycle Cruiser also has. He definitely changed out the fairings on his bad boy. However, I got the limited edition graffiti, and there's no way I was going to change the fairings on this. I love the satin black. I love how it looks. The only thing I don't like is this right here. My wife's going to hate me for this, but I had this bike for 4 going on 5 years, and there's no scratch in it. I give her the bike for about a month while I was overseas. She dropped it in the garage trying to move it around. You know, thankfully she didn't drop it while driving, but you know, she dropped it elsewhere. So I gave her shit about it, of course, as any good spouse would do. So let's start this bad boy up. Oh, before I do that, actually, I did the two brother exhaust on this. I freaking love this exhaust. And keep in mind that shininess, this exhaust is, what, 5 years old? So that's how well I keep these things. As well, if you haven't noticed, when you replace your exhaust on these, this bracket comes off and all you see is exhaust pipe. And personally, I didn't like how that looked. So what I did is I took the fairing piece right here and I actually cut it right here so the taillights tuck under and make it so that they look like they're supposed to be there and they're nice and snug. So I think that was a nice little added touch, a little custom look. Let's start this bad boy. Completely different sound, obviously, than the Ducati. Still a great bike. As you can see, there's a lot of bugs. Wife and I went riding yesterday and went through a bug storm pretty much. But this is a very fun, pretty quick bike. Yeah, it's not my first, it's actually my second bike. But man, I love it. I still love it. Even compared to that, I still love this bike. It's so comfortable. Yeah. Definitely a nice ass bike. Still going strong for me. Still doing what I need to do. This is the only bike that we can ride 2 up on because that bike is not comfortable for 2 people whatsoever. After riding it 2 up about a month or so ago, never again. So this is again my CBR. Sweet ass bike, even with the scratch on it. Alright, so we'll move on to the next beast, or my other baby, whichever you want to call it. It's my 2009 Challenger RT. Yes, well, why didn't you get the SRT8? Very simply, I didn't want the SRT8. I feel that the SRT8, as great as it is, which it is a badass car, it's got too much done to it that makes it so that, you know, it leaves little for you to upgrade. This has a ton for you to upgrade. As I've done, mainly with the stereo. I love audio, and that's just how I roll. You know, I got to do as much with the audio as possible. As you see, 6-speed, very fun. CD player. I have component speakers all the way around. You can't see them in the back because they're actually under the trim piece back there. So that's kind of cool. I kind of hid that little feature back there. Nice little DVD player that is also several years old. We're going to come back to my favorite part of this is the custom system I built. Like I said, audio is what I love, and this thing hits, it looks pretty, it sounds, you know, crystal clear. I'm, you can tell I listen to a lot of rock, I don't listen to a lot of rap or anything like that, so I need like nice tight bass, so I built 2 separate sealed enclosures. Obviously the amps, 1000 watt for the sub, 450, 4-channel for the speakers all the way around, capacitor, distribution block. Memphis subs, Memphis speakers, and mobile spec amps. Great setup. Great setup. It also doesn't rattle, which is something that a lot of people's cars do. Now let's do what makes this bad boy my favorite to drive as far as cars go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely my favorite right there. As with the SRT8, functioning air scoops. The RT miles are actually blocked off. So little upgrade, little touch here and there, just to make it so that it, you know, is fully functional and actually worth a damn. So yeah, guys, these are my rides. But I fucking love them all. They're great vehicles. This thing doesn't get amazing gas mileage, however, it doesn't get the worst gas mileage. That doesn't get amazing gas mileage. Even though it's a bike, it's only average about 35 miles a gallon. That, on the other hand, does like 45, 50. So it does a good thing. Also, anybody looking at alarms, Viper are great alarms. I absolutely love them. So there you go, guys. There's my vehicles again. If you have any questions on installs or anything like that, you know, let me know. That is my forte. It's what I love doing. So you all have a good one.